I actually want to shift gears and cover one more story here, and this one is but actually, it's actually connected to Wall Street of all things. It's actually something you did, you wrote about for Salon, and what's going on currently in Puerto Rico with the
Mm.
Zika virus and vulture funds and how they're maybe wanting a fiscal control board down there. It is really, really frightening stuff. So just kind of give us a rundown of what's going on in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I wrote a long piece for the American Prospect about how hedge funds and other financial companies are really pillaging Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is mired in a decade-long depression. It was basically told by the financial operators to paper that over by issuing debt. They're now $73 billion in debt. There are various legal structures by which they cannot declare bankruptcy. It makes it very difficult for them to restructure this debt. They would need the cooperation of all of their creditors, which they don't have. And this has, so that they can continue to pay their debts, it's created a massive amount of austerity and subsequently out-migration from Puerto Rico. There has been more people leaving Puerto Rico in the last 2 years than in the entire decades of the 1980s and the 1990s. We've seen almost 10% of the population leave Puerto Rico in the last few years. That's because the austerity measures are focusing mostly on the citizenry. And because they're U.S. citizens, they can come to the mainland and without any travel restrictions, and that's what we're seeing in massive quantities. So this is the worst possible time for a public health outbreak to occur in a country like Puerto Rico, where the health infrastructure has been absolutely decimated. I talked to a guy down there who said that a doctor a day is leaving the island, and that people wait in line in the emergency room for up to 13 hours to get seen. When you're trying to get control over a very mysterious virus and trying to ensure that you have blanketed the entire country in terms of testing and screening and diagnosing, the lack of a health infrastructure is going to be really devastating to that possibility. And this just doesn't affect the citizens of Puerto Rico, but because the virus can spread and people can travel, it affects the whole world. And so this shows you exactly the consequences of battering a country with austerity. By the way, many of these vulture funds that picked up the Puerto Rican debt picked it up at a major discount while they were in trouble. They bought this distressed debt, and they're trying to get a huge payday by forcing Puerto Rico to pay them back at par at 100%. And the inability to get a haircut, some debt restructuring, something sustainable so that Puerto Rico doesn't have to, destroy the village in order to save it, is creating this inability to be resilient in the face of unexpected challenges like the Zika virus.